Francesca Elisa Leonelli. I work in the application section in the Earth Observation Programs Directorate, which is based here in Esri, Frascati. The European Space Agency, of course, has a primary role in designing and developing satellites and launching them to space. But then it has also a very important role in providing the data that these satellites give to us, and also to pioneer new projects and new methodologies based on that data. So it's not only about the satellites themselves, but it's also then to develop specific projects, innovative projects that can respond to specific needs. One thing we want to make sure is not only having the technical and scientific community developing new projects, meaning from academia or industry or space industry, but it's also really making sure that the products and the tools that are developed within ESA mandate are actually uptaken by users. So empowering users to be, first of all, aware of the solutions out there, and also training them to use them at best. Because in this way, we are targeting the people that actually can mostly benefit from our projects that we have been funding. So our role in this sense is a bit connecting pieces. So helping on the one side, the scientific community to connect to users, and on the other side, connect users to all the applications that are already available. One of our target communities is exactly the urban practitioners, the urban experts, and so all those people that actually have to manage cities and all let's say, the contour of cities. To do this, we have specific projects and developments that target cities in terms of monitoring heat, like urban heat island effects or air pollution in cities, but also the risk of natural disasters or mapping green infrastructures and the health of our vegetations in cities. We are also organizing specific trainings, and we are trying to do our outreach towards these communities by going towards their own events. So not only inviting them to participate actively to our events, but we are also trying to be present at their own events.
My name is Petya Pishpisheva, and I'm coordinator at the European Covenant of Mayors for Climate and Energy. This is an initiative of the European Commission. For the past 15 years, the initiative has mobilized local authorities across Europe to develop action plans and accordingly act on climate and energy on their territories in alignment with the EU-wide objectives on climate and energy. Well, cities are different, and their needs and challenges are different depending on their size, on their location, but also on the environment in which they are situated and their national context. The most pressing challenges in mitigating and reducing greenhouse gas emissions are in two sectors: buildings and transportation. In the next years, cities need to renovate their building stock to increase the energy efficiency, to increase the share of renewable energies. But they also need to focus on transportation, clean transportation, but also behavioral change for their citizens. In all of this, the transition towards climate and energy needs to be just and equitable, leaving no one behind, addressing also and specifically the most vulnerable members of the communities and society. And this is why energy poverty is very high on the agenda of cities. Earth observation and space-based solutions are a very powerful tool to be used at the urban level. However, there is overall lack of knowledge of what exists. And whenever such services exist and are available, cities also find it difficult to understand what is the exact value of using those services for their specific context, for their specific needs and challenges that they need to address through policies and action plans. Another related issue, and when I enumerate those, I base them on a consultation that we did recently with city practitioners who also flagged the skills and the capacity that they as city administrators need to build over time in order to use those data sets, the models and the applications, and also develop those to be applicable to their own context. Related to this is the interoperability or transferability of data, compatibility with data sets that are well known and used by cities, such as cadastral data or demographic data, which, when put together with Earth observation services, could be much more meaningful and usable at the city level. Of course, and inevitably, the financial affordability of those services is something that is a significant challenge to local authorities, especially those mid and small-sized local authorities that are the majority of the European cities and towns. Hello, my name is Anne-Kathrin Metz-Marconcini, and I'm a research scientist at the Earth Observation Center of the German Aerospace Center. My focus is on urban and sustainable energy, and I use EO data to drive advancements in these fields. EO data is quite essential in generating information on rooftop characteristics and also on solar potential, because they provide information in a concise, up-to-date, and comprehensive way. So DLR's role in the development of the GTIF platform was quite essential. EO data is quite important in the energy transition as it provides harmonized and high-resolution information across Europe. Platforms like GTIF enhance this by integrating diverse data sets, which improves our understanding of solar energy potential and supports regional and cross-border collaborations. Looking ahead, GTIF and similar platforms will actually offer significant opportunities for refining predictive models, for optimizing energy storage solutions, and for supporting the energy strategies. These advancements will facilitate better decision-making and support the energy transition across Europe.
I am Ifigenia Keramitsoglu. I am a research director in Earth observation at the National Observatory of Athens. My work centers around Earth observation and the development of services using satellite data, especially with regard to the urban heat island and the extreme temperatures that are experienced in a city. Earth observation data provides us with a comprehensive view of a city, and this cannot be achieved using only data from the ground. Due to urbanization, we have replaced the natural surfaces with artificial ones, like, for example, with cement and asphalt. And these materials have very different thermal properties. The result is the development of a phenomenon that is called the urban heat island. So satellite data have bands in the thermal infrared. So they acquire the thermal emission from the ground, and from this we can identify the position and the magnitude of the urban heat island and also some local hotspots. Earth observation services offer cities powerful tools for informed decision-making. So by pinpointing the urban heat island position and magnitude and also the thermal hotspots, the cities can actually identify the areas that are critical for interventions. Now, for urban policymakers, this data supports the development of, for example, heat action plans or climate resilience strategies, and ultimately, this would lead to safer, healthier communities. Earth observation transforms what would be a reactive approach into a proactive, evidence-based planning. Well, one of the standout examples is our work with the Athens metropolitan area. That is a work that is now under progress, and we are building a digital twin that is a heat mortality estimator. There are two distinct lines of service. One is the short-term tool that is going to be used during the heat season to predict the heat-related mortality the following days. And also, there will be a long-term planning digital twin that is going to predict the mortality in future climate scenarios. And also, it will assess the impact of nature-based solutions. The idea is that the city can play around with different what-if scenarios and see how different nature-based solutions are going to impact the mortality due to heat. Digital twin for heat, we call it DT Heat, is being developed in the framework of a European project called Carmine, and it is in coordination with Destination Earth. This case highlights how Earth observation isn't just about data collection, but it is about saving lives from space and enhancing urban resilience.
I am Thais Fontanelli, and I work at Lobelli Earth, a Barcelona-based company specializing in Earth observation data and climate projections. So we create different applications to tackle climate challenges, such as air pollution in our cities. And our solutions are developed to support policymakers and to guide the implementation of nature-based solutions to meet present and also future challenges. So many cities face a common challenge. They lack the infrastructure for air quality monitoring. Official networks of sensors usually are very expensive and not sufficient in number of stations. Although they provide accurate and hourly measurements, in a lot of cases it's not enough to have the resolution that urban planners need to solve the challenges. And satellite data, on the other hand, they provide consistent and global coverage, but they lack the temporal and spatial resolutions that they need. The key is to combine different data sources to create a product that truly meets the needs of both urban planners and citizens. And Lobelia Air is an operational system that provides hourly measurements of air quality. It also provides historical data and forecasts into the future, and it provides information on pollutants such as particulate matter, NO2, and ozone. It was developed in partnership with the KNMI, the Royal Netherlands Meteorological Institute. It integrates Copernicus CAM's data, satellite data, with in-situ measurements of sensors when they're available, and also emission proxies such as traffic intensity and population density, as well as meteorological data. The result is a continuous detailed map that provides hourly information of pollutants at any point across the city, and provide information at a resolution that is needed for the urban challenges. Lobelia Air is a powerful example of how Earth observation can transform urban management. In cities such as Barcelona and Madrid, it has impacted urban policies and plans. And it also supports the creation of low-emission zones and drives urban changes, such as traffic calming measures, and also promotes active transportation. This real-time air quality monitoring also helps people to choose less polluted routes for their daily commute. It also increases awareness of air quality and promotes active and sustainable mobility. By mapping air pollution in real time, Lobelia Air not only empowers decision makers, but also communities, leading to real transformation in air quality in cities.
So one thing that urban practitioners have to face with is also justify the actions that they take to mitigate and adapt cities to climate change. And when they have to take some actions in this direction, having some clear evidence or some scientific data at their disposal that helps them also communicate to the wide public why they are choosing to, let's say, it could be plant new trees, this type of tree and not the other one, or maybe change an area to bike lanes instead of cars. They can, of course, support their decisions with scientific evidence. So it becomes important to have reliable data. And for this, Earth observation can provide, of course, what is needed, because people trust and rely on information coming from satellites, and all our data go through a strong validation and calibration process. So, of course, the products that we deliver at the end are reliable, coming, of course, with some uncertainties, but if these are correctly communicated also to the wide public, all the actions that are taken in terms of city management become more digestible. In ESA, to strengthen this role that we have to address these problems and outreach towards the users, we really felt the necessity to get a step forward in this process. And for this reason, we have a dedicated project called the Stakeholder Engagement Facility, which is exactly focusing on the needs of users in different fields, among which also the urban field, and that are reaching out to these people with specific informations on the projects that we run, and that can be the most useful for the specific needs and priorities that come out from these communities.